It's the penultimate episode, everybody. It has almost been an entire year of Kamen Rider, and as such, it's been almost an entire year of my videos. Realistically, this whole thing started as a way to just force me to make regular videos. It was a challenge of sorts. I was tired of feeling unmotivated and unwilling to, well, basically work on a video, and I thought reviewing an episode a week would force me to refine my skills, refine my note-taking, how I did things, how I thought about video making, and as such, it has. I have made over, realistically, 50 videos in the past year because of Gateway to Geats and other videos I've made during that. It was just meant to be a creative exercise, and what it ended up being was an amazing show. Geats has been really top-notch and quite enjoyable entertainment. And realistically, it also gave me a couple of fun companions along the way. So, thank you. All of you regular viewers, and you know who you are. I say your names at the end of these videos plenty of times, and I will say them at the end of this one. Just thank you. All of you regular viewers, the ones that put it on in the background, the ones that engage with the comments, the ones that theory crafted with me, the ones that analyzed themes with me. I hope that if you so desire, we can continue this on with Get Charred. But in the meantime, it's time for Gateway to Geats. So, yeah, we're gonna go on to the whole video essay theme analysis thing. Bullshit, the show is about desire. How is it about desire this time, Boingo? Very simple. This is about how desire fundamentally affects others. And I think that's been what the show's been going on about the most. It is, you have a want, you have the right to fight for that want, but if you hurt other people, that want is less valid. And this is truly the purest version of this, because last episode we had the DGP going around giving and basically drafting a bunch of randos into one final DGP of basically, hey, if you don't kill anybody, your happiness is gonna be disappeared forever. Killed be killed, that kind of thing. And they announced the game, and we see all these different people all across the city having to deal with it. We see random passersby immediately have to start, a mother having to basically abandon her child in order to maintain her life. And we see two teenage lovers be basically deathly afraid of what's happening and going like, fuck this, we ain't fighting, we're running away. And as they're running away, they are basically eliminated, and it's bullshit. All these different people are struggling for their lives, and the game ends. It's tragic, it's brutal, and the gang don't know what to fucking do. The game starts up the next day, and immediately we see all of our heroes working together. We have Buffa and Kawa and everybody working to try and solve this problem, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But ultimately, they start attacking everything from the top. We don't really see how the game is handled this episode, of how these people are saved. But they're in a very bad situation. and it looks like our heroes are going to be able to help them. But at this point in time, the DGP just does not give a shit. It is shown time and time again that they just want their ratings. They just want to be done, get out of here, gotta stop the, like, just bye. You know, there's a lot of fucking bullshit, but they want their ratings. But then, we do have the tricksters kind of going about their daily life, trying to deal with things, and the game starts, and they immediately go like, alright, cool, we gotta help people. Geats, Ace is on the scene on one of these cases. He tries to help some people out. Kawa is dealing with the teenage lovers, and he's trying his best. Buffa also gets involved in some situations. Everyone's just trying their best to stave off the situation. And then they go, alright, we need to make a plan for when this happens again. And they do. Neon goes, talks to her reconciled dad, and goes like, hey, still got those connections? What if we abused them? And Ace and Samori go back to their house, their family house from way back earlier in the season, and someone shows up. It's the first Game Master. He showed up because they needed Game Masters, and he's like, this isn't what the DGP was supposed to be. And now he's an ally of convenience, ready to just get him where he needs to go. You have Buffa trying to stop people from killing each other. The man who was desperately trying to stop and have this power is now having to be a protector, be a shield. And Win is being distraction incarnate as Daichi just finally nuts up and goes, alright, I've been a fuckhead, let me help. And the Yamato get a redemption moment as they are fucking gearing up and they are going to help stop the DGP. All this comes to a head, though, as Grimori basically sneaks Ace in to the Sparkle Realm. I don't know what else to call it. It's not the God Realm anymore. The Goddess isn't there anymore, but it's the Sparkle Realm, as Ace and Sewell duke it out in beautiful fashion. God powers incarnate. Sewell realizes he's losing power because Neon and Neon's dad fucking pulled a tricky. It's like, hey, you don't desire getting hurt, right? The way everything's going, you'll get hurt. You don't want that. And those audience members skedaddled like nothing. Bye. Sewell is losing power. Ace is getting the upper hand in the fight when Sewell uses his trump card. He reverts Ace to basically the time he was before the show started, because Ace refused to become a full god. He has a mortal man with the god powers. And then Samori does the thing from the intro song and puts a gun to Ace's head. And we hear a bang, and we'll know what happens next week. But overall, our crew have become true heroes. Everyone is doing everything they can to save the day, and everyone's working together in the best way that they can. Win is a distraction. Buffa is using his strength to help others. Neon is using her connections and her intelligence that she's shown throughout the show. Ace is being a consummate leader, and Kawa is being fucking Kawa. He is trying to help as many people as he can. Overall, everyone's trying their best to save the day, and Ace is doing what he can, being the trickster fuckhead, trying to beat the whole system. But inevitably, the system can get you down. But who knows what's going to happen next week? I'm hoping that the connection and community you make can help pull you back up. But ultimately, how will all this end? I don't know. We'll have to see it next week. But before all of that, hey, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel so you can see this and one final episode of Gateway to Geats. But Gather Up Kachard coming right up after that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Kachard. Why not? Fuck it. Hashtag the fuck it. Fuck. You also follow me on a variety of social media platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. I'm on there now. I'm on Mastodon. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on all these social media network places. Links to all of them are in the description. There's also a Discord server you can hang out and chill, do all those kind of things. I stream on Twitch. Link to that is in the description. So yeah. Check out our podcast, my podcast channel, Modular Media. That should also be in the description. It's all kinds of fun. But without further ado, let's get into the comments. From Fish Pop, the new Gazer repaint looks cool and even does a Grey's Ein Gundam thing with the little and the little cow buffa BK. Excuse me. It was cute. Oh, Fish Pop, you got a burp. Congratulations. Oh, the little of all of them was just cute. Win being a pumpkin, Neon being the little ceramic cat. It's all cute. And I really need to watch more Gundam. I've seen 8th MS Team and some of the original. I'm watching G-Witch, though, because I have to for the upcoming podcast, Analytical Fanboys. It's on Modular Media. It's a monthly media cast where we talk, where one person picks a piece of media, and then we talk about it. So yeah, that's going to be on the docket soon. And next, from Slimebeast. The bit where Daichi says, "I've sold my soul to Giamato," in my subs at least, as justification for why he thinks he doesn't deserve happiness is funny to me, because it's like, that's the funny part. They didn't ask for any of this either. Yeah, it's interesting to see just how, like, everybody in the show internalizes just what happened to them, what the DGP does, all these different kinds of, like, elements that, like, it starts off as, like, things that they justify to themselves as like, oh, well, I need this to exist because I want to wish for love, or I want to wish for like happiness and peace or anything like that. And then slowly all those justifications slowly start eroding away, and it's just, these were all justifications. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about anything. Fuck them. You know? And it's interesting to see. And Daichi is part of that too. He's like, what he wanted was not a bad thing. He just wanted knowledge. He wants to know things. That's a commendable thing. But the DGP basically, like, through its machinations, uses and abuses him to the point where he becomes more and more Machiavellian, to the point where he becomes this monster of a man doing irredeemable, like, horrible acts of violence against others. And when he snapped back to it by Ace, by just everything he's gone through, he's like, oh, I made a mistake. I did wrong. And it's like, yeah, he did wrong. But that's like fucking pumping a dude full of fucking drugs and then going, look at him, he's failed because he's a drug user. It's like, yeah, of course you failed. You had a guy fucking giving you free heroin. What the fuck, my dude? I'm not saying that's a one-to-one perfect analogy, but it is like, it is an enticing thing that is fundamentally harmful to these people, and it's interesting to see how they internalize it all, you know? And next up, from TOA Nui. So I have to start with something only partially relevant to the episode, but it's been bothering me for a while, and this episode reminded me of it. When Buffa won the JGP, all of the Giamato that participated were shown to have been revived, but since then, I'm pretty sure we've only seen Archmetal, I think that's what's his name, return and die, and now it's starting to bother me that we haven't seen the bigger Giamato for a while now. On a relevant note, I'm a little sad my evil boy is gone, but I'm glad he went out like I imagined Zoom would, praising KWAL for becoming a true Kamen writer. And on a somewhat silly note, I kind of wish Buffa would have been turned into a steak or beef instead of a plushie, just because of all the times those foods would have were used when people were talking about him in past episodes. And finally, I feel like clarifying from last episode that I didn't want Michinaga to die, he just has so many death flags on him. His survival would have only been more surprising if he had had 2 days left till retirement. That's completely fair on the death flag thing. Like, I understand that. It's just like, oh, these are all the quintessential hints that he's gonna die. I think that the show's doing those on purpose as kind of like the world, the DGP, wants these people to die, and they are too stubborn to do so, and they are going to fight for their happy ending. And they're going to be happy, that kind of thing. And while he didn't show the big bosses, Daichi this episode did show us where some of the Yamato have been. They've been playing Pikmin as a team building exercise. I love Daichi just going like, hey, we need more muscle to help out? Cool. Hey, Yamato, we're helping people now. And Yamato are probably just like, alright, cool. As long as we're not going to get blown up, cool. We don't give a shit. Oh yeah, and that last line to kick it up, fucking fantastic. It was great. And it really cemented, I think, in, like, what his character was, which was a villain that desperately wanted to be an ally. But his villainy, his world could only go so far to help the person he thought he was helping, and it fails. It felt like, you bring up Zoom, it's like, yeah, it's like Zoom and Flash. It's like Zoom sees the Flash as like this pinnacle of heroism, and he just wants him to be the best he can be. But what he thinks is by doing that is like making it so all the things that could go, like doing all these bad things in order to ensure him being a great hero. And it's just like, it's a bastardization of an ally, and I think Kekara is a great encapsulation of that. It's really good. And finally, from Iscande, it was great to see that Michinaga not only apologized to Sarah still called him Buffalo, 10 out of 10. It was also nice to see Keiwa and Daichi bond over having done horrible things, but are working to redeem themselves. The words chosen were cool, that Daichi doubts he deserves happiness due to selling his soul to the Yamato, but Keiwa thinks that as long as you have humanity, you can make a fresh start. Today's star is our unemployed 22-year-old Sakura Keiwa, the world peace-loving, self-proclaimed Kamen writer. Leave it to Kekera to introduce Keiwa like that, truly a dedicated fan and hater, calling him unemployed when he knows that's not the case. Yeah, he works at a udon fucking store. Get it right, Kekera. Check the wiki. Even if he was losing as part of an act, it was fantastic to see assurance that Keiwa's learned his lesson when taunted by the offer of a wish to hasten Ace petrification. He strongly refused, declaring that he'll fight for a world where everyone can be happy, and that he's done sacrificing the happiness of others. Love that Keiwa did the version of the Henshin where he pounds his chest. While they aren't drastic, I love the changes to Bushin sword, so it's purified now. No more demonic hands, the clear visor, and the fully red eyes behind it. And while he was largely a jerk, I like to think Kekera planned that broadcast knowing that if Keiwa bested him, that'd give Keiwa a boost in his popularity. Like one last gift for his favorite before his send-off. Big fan of Ace answering Geats by saying that they have an audience behind them too, as the camera cuts to the people cheering on Keiwa, that their audience wishes for a happy end. The bro fist between Ace and Keiwa near the end is chef's kiss. Lastly, you already covered the symbolism with Sewell. I think it's very fitting that our last boss is not just an executive producer, but the DGP personified, literally after merging with the cameras to power himself up. His will and the future audience is unified. I love how how the show treats seeking redemption. It's like, no, you have to take the steps to do it. You're not just, oh, I want to do good now, you're a good guy now. Like, no. Like, Keiwa trusts Daichi to an extent, but it's very much clear. It's like, hey, you got to work at it. It's like, if you have humanity in you have a chance, but like all this kind of stuff, and Buffa and all of it, it's just good. And I fully expect there's going to be in the scene in the last episode, Daichi apologizing to Sarah, and like all these people just like going like, "Hey, I fucked up. Are we okay? We're cool. Yeah, just be better. All right, cool." K.K. wanted to make a Kamen Rider, and boy, did he fucking make one. Especially with this episode of like everyone going like, "Oh man, Keiwa, you're a Kamen Rider. That's pretty cool. You're doing good shit." And he's just like, "I'm cool, thanks." But yeah, and it just happens that a real Kamen Rider sees what he does as wrong and needs to stop. And genuinely, I think that like last moment of like, damn, you sound like a real Kamen Rider, is him realizing like, oh, I went about this all fucking wrong. Oh shit, I'm the darkness he has to fight. Shit. Fuck. All right, get me kill me, Keiwa. You can do it. Like that kind of thing. There is some great metatextual stuff with Ace in this conversation, like Geats scene too. Like, so the audience in the show wants a bad end because they are the villains. They are all this kind of stuff. But Ace is saying that his audience, the people of the world, but also us, we want a happy end. We care about these characters. We want them to be happy. We want them to have a good end. And it's funny how the first Game Master, Giori, lays it out. Overly evil bad guys, sympathetic good guys, happy end. And that is what we are ending up with. There is so much that can be said about the show, especially with the visual symbolism, but we can't get into that now because that's the end of this video. And I hope you enjoyed it. And next week, the last episode of Kamen Rider Geats, and the last video in Gateway to Geats. So then, keep on Geatsing on.